Commercial mortgage-backed securities reach highest delinquency rate in history. Treasury Secretary Bessent says substantial tariff news is coming over the next couple of days. And tonight, the government shutdown is possibly going to be coming to an end. Guys, we're doing analysis on the SPY, AMC, GameStop, and Bitcoin. I'm going to try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Watch until the end. U.S. House will vote to end the longest government shutdown in history at 4 p.m. EST today. Coincidentally, right when the stock market closes, in which case, if you've been watching my videos and keeping up, I have a somewhat bearish stance as the government reopens on the market, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. But before I do that, let me just state that 13F filings have come out. Intech Investment Management increased their GameStop holdings in their portfolio by 55%, bringing total holdings to $2.5 million. Mega Whale Geode Capital Management increased their GameStop holdings to 7,247,635 shares, worth over $197 million. Okay, before we get into the analysis on that, what happened with the S&P 500 so far today? We are about an hour and a half into the trading day, and the SPY has perfectly still traded in our levels. Back to back, our levels have not failed. And today we broke down below this support level that we could not hold. And last night, towards the close, we have this huge volume candle on this 1 hour candle right here. And that's exactly why we are seeing it hold as support so far. And buyers and fighters are selling this level. You lose this level, you come back down to the most recent kind of region between 674 and 676. So on and so on, and I'll talk about where I think it's going to go. We also got a perfect rejection on a separate chart that we have drawn out. If we continue to fall today and get below 681, you're going to 677. You break 677, you're going to 674. Now, I have this blue line, this blue vertical line that I have drawn out on the chart. That marks December 3rd. What is December 3rd? Well, it's a couple of things. It is GameStop earnings for one, which we'll talk about. But for two, it is 3 exact weeks from today where the government reopening could have delayed data out to 3 weeks. Now, that's not to say we won't see a lot of the data in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. That is to say that within 3 weeks, we should have all of the backed up data that we didn't see when the government was shut down. And I personally have a bearish bias on this, especially seeing how optimistic the market has been. Okay. Following that, I also expect a Santa Claus rally at the end of QT and a possible intervention by the Fed, depending on if the market crumbles down further. Will the market crash further? Well, we have been taking a look at the macro. One thing shows signs of fading momentum to the upside, as well as a very close possible cross on the MACD and an overbought on the RSI, indicating that the SPY is very overbought and due for a pullback. Also on the chart, it shows on the weekly that we are trading well above some significant moving averages, which the market likes to come back to and hug at some point before moving higher, which could bring us a move all the way down to 620, which we talked about. Now, we also see on the flip side, something very bullish. We came and we tested this ascending macro support level, which has been historic resistance since 2016 or 2018. And we also bounced off that, built out this wedge, traded above it. And now it looks like if we get a pullback, that pullback should bounce at 674. The base that we've built recently on the shorter time frame shows that 674 is going to be a very, very strong support if the SPY decides that it wants to sell off. Now, what happened during the 2021 time frame? I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, AMC, GameStop, where are we at? AMC has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and some change between 5 and 8 to 10 maybe touch points on this descending resistance level, in which case if this pattern plays out, it's going to test it around 275 and then break out to the upside for a squeeze. Now, where did we get this pattern? Well, this pattern is from 2021. And we kind of had it on a separate chart that I don't really use, and I pulled it up today just to clarify. I pulled up an old chart today on AMC that I haven't used in a while, and all of the drawings were pretty accurate. And I was thinking to myself, why did I abandon this chart? We got confused on a couple of other charts. Long story short, aside from all of the confusion, aside from all of the trend lines, the boxes, the cycle patterns, we have had the same window across our charts, being late November, mid-December, when we should see very, very bullish moves. Now, this chart, you can see, lines up very perfectly. It almost looks identical. Now, this is from 2021, and in fact, this overlaid the bars pattern that we actually have right here. Overlaid is what I brought to the 2021 pattern, which is what we see, which is very identical. Now, what does that show us? That shows that we're kind of trading right here, basically right here before a move that was coming. And then the same thing happens with GameStop as well. You can see how this. Let me grab my marker brush right here. Try to speed up the video a little bit. You can see how this kind of trades the exact same way. It found its bottom, and then it's chopped trading sideways, sideways, sideways. Got this build up, and then this spike down. And then as of right now, where is GameStop? Well, it shows that it should be almost building a bottom. We have probably a couple more days of downside into Friday, maybe Monday, and then we build up maybe, right? And then this is what's important. What's important is not what comes before earnings, okay? What's important is that this cycle lines up December 3rd with this move. That means a spike on earnings, okay? And the reason being is because this hasn't played out perfectly the past week or two. GameStop comes up, and instead it goes down here, but it has continued higher in this cycle period. Now, this chop zone has played out. The sell-off has played out. But this little piece, that's just saying that can things happen inverse? Yes, but we have that pocket, a point of interest coming into earnings, and then a squeeze zone coming into mid-late December, right around Christmas, which would be honestly just the most perfect setup for Roaring Kitty's present and all that other stuff. But if you're wondering where I got that from, that is the same spot I got AMC's from. It's right here during the 2021 move. Now, what happened to the overall market? What happened to Bitcoin? Bitcoin, during January of 2021, when this was happening, dropped a total of 31% from its relative peak to its low, relative low, right? Well, lottery stocks, how far down is Bitcoin going to go? If we saw something similar, Bitcoin comes perfectly to the 382 fib at 87,700. That's down about 30% or so. We've currently dropped a total of 21%. Okay, that's pretty bearish. What happened after? Into February, within 1 month, Bitcoin from its peak ran 38%. What does that mean? That means from Bitcoin's peak at 126K, you would see a move towards 175 within the first 3 months of 2026. Very bullish for the market, very bullish for crypto, very bullish for our short squeeze plays. Now, why does this all align? Well, if it comes to fruition that we get bad data, what are other things that we see? We see a huge divergence between small caps and large caps. The Mag 7 is holding up our entire stock market, holding up or right around 40% of the entire SPY. As soon as that hits, capital rotates, SPY gets dropped. Small caps rip. If Fed intervention occurs, a lot still goes well. Bitcoin goes well, right? It's kind of the exact playbook that we see every single crisis, every single time there's chaos in the market. And here's what I want to note right now on the 1 hour time frame. We have came up and returned to these levels on SPY, but if we can't hold this last trend line that we just faded into, we could see another move down, or a head and shoulders form and another move down. Here's what I really want to see for my case, okay? Because I'm still holding November 21st puts. I want to see us push 674 and 677. I want to see us push 677 under this trend line with heavy increase in volume. I want to see that push heavy increase in volume. and us smash right through 677 to test 674. And if we get a bounce, watching for a rejection at 677 and a continuation with volume, gap fill, hold this trend line, possibly further. Okay, possibly. We would have to reevaluate. I'm expecting the government to reopen and us to get bad data, or at least a temporary shock to the downside. And I'll stand by that. I've been talking about it for a while. Volatility, bearish bias, government reopen, end of QT, all aligning for a Santa Claus rally. I'm bullish on the market in a month. Right now, I'm not. Our lines are still holding, looking well. If we continue to fall off of this line, that 674, 677 zone is very crucial on all time frames before coming back down and retesting 662, 655, so on and so on and so on. Overall, I just wanted to give a quick analysis on what I thought was important and kind of where we are at right now. As Bitcoin sells off, again, there are things that show it like more and more likely that the cycle is over, but there are a couple things that I wanted to note as to why that is not the case. Okay. First of all, the 50-week moving average. Bitcoin wicked below it. Every single time we've wicked below it in a bull market, we have had the craziest monster rally following that. Same thing, right? This is not the main thing to focus on. I want to paint that very clear. Global M2, Bitcoin normally catches up to and is lagging very, very, very hard behind. I think a lot of the capital is going into gold, silver, right? Overall, Bitcoin is under 103, retesting 786. It looks bearish. Increase in volume on sell candles. Everything is currently temporarily bearish, and I'll stand by that as the market has been propped up. It's propped up on fake volume. There was stealth selling by institutions, continuous stealth selling by institutions, and now we've jumped from 662 to 686 on weak moves, in my opinion. I want to see volume increase on this red day today, though. That is it, guys. There's a couple links under the description of the video. I have multiple links under there in case you want to join my Discord through WAP. It's going to take you to this page, join. Or if you want to join through LaunchPass, it'll take you to this page, join. Okay, so there's a couple of pages that you can use to join my Discord server. They both bring you to the same server. Those are the top links in the description of the video. If you're not following me on X yet, make sure to come follow me. We are at almost 4,000 subscribers. God bless all of you guys and your families. If you want my indicator for free for 7 days, that is the link in the description as well. My pattern detection indicator. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.